Hi everybody, Kat here. Welcome to my channel. Today I thought we would work on something fun for Thanksgiving because I know we just celebrated ours in October and I know that our neighbors to the south are celebrating in a couple of weeks. So I made these Thanksgiving inspired place cards so you can put them on your table. I don't have a family really big enough that you need to do this, but it is kind of fun just to be festive. So this is in the shape of a gourd, and what I did with this one is I made it extra round, and what you could do after you finish painting and you cut it out, it can sit on the bottom of like a water glass or a wine glass, whatever has a stem on it. And you can write the person's name on the front or on the back, or it's just a fun little decoration. And the best part is you're going to practice your brush strokes. Always practice. Even if it's a simple little project, you practice. I don't know if it makes perfect, but it makes pretty darn good. So there's lots to do. Let's get started. To begin, I drew these little gourds here, and I filled them with leaves and berries. And as you can see, this is the little one that I just showed you. And this is the one we're going to be doing today. This is a little bit bigger. You decide if what I was thinking of doing, because I have a sibling that loves gourds. So I was thinking of doing different shapes, like of all wonky looking gourds, and filling them up with these pretty leaves and flowers, and then putting it in a frame for her, and she could hang it in her kitchen or her dining room. But that's just me. This could be just for practice. So I drew this out. I will stick it up at the end of the video so that you can take a screenshot. And then what I do is I trace it. This is a piece of parchment paper. So I trace it onto there, and then I take my pencil on its side and I just go along where the drawing is. I didn't draw the leaves on this myself but for yours you're gonna have the leaves included. And then I just outline it so that it's still pencil and it's still erasable, because what you do after you fill this, you want to erase the edges. Okay, so to start, I'm mixing my sap green and my Van Dyke brown, and I want it really watery. So I'm going to take my spray bottle and just spray it right into here, because I do not want it thick. And I want it a very neutral kind of color. I want it to be like an olivey green. So I'm going to test it with lots of water. And that's perfect. That's what I want. So I'm just going to start on this side. I'm going to go in with this top leaf just so I can get established. I'm going to start with my brush down, and I'm going to push and wiggle it around and come right back up. And these do not have to be perfect. And as I've said before, the less perfect they are, the better it looks. So I'm going to work my way up from the bottom, and I'll show you why. And you can alternate the greens you use. So this is the bottom one. I obviously did not have enough water on my brush for that one. Okay, and this one is coming off of here. And it's kind of, the edge of it you can't see because it's going around the gourd. That's the look we're going for. I think I'm going to change my brush. I did change my brush several times while doing this, but this one's a lot smaller, so I thought that was the reason, but maybe it's just me today. So I'll come in and I'll do another one over here. They don't have to all be going in the exact same direction, don't have to be perfectly the same shape. And while it's wet, I'm just going in with a teeny bit of extra color down by the edge here. But we could do that later. So I want to put this next one kind of covering the stem. because it's growing in a different direction. And then this one will be coming out kind of from behind it. And we'll define all that on the second coat. Okay, so this one, this is the color we're going for. I'm just going to do the whole thing in this color. And you can do, all the leaves can be varying in size. That's quite a bit of water, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to see how it dries. I don't mind that one bit. And over here, just going to come out. Add one there. Add one here. And this also comes off here. And remember, this is supposed to be relaxing. It's a little project with a goal. Sometimes it's nice to paint without a goal. Today we have a goal. Today we're going to fill this gourd. Okay, and we're going to make this one a little less perfect too. That's kind of going the same direction. Our brains always want to make a pattern, so you have to always be aware of that. Now I'm going to make a leaf coming from this side of the gourd, so it looks like it's wrapped around, because the gourd is round, right? So there's leaves coming from all different directions. So I'll do another one over here. Okay, so I just want to fill in that. I'm going to just drink that up a little bit there because I had a bit too much. And I'll use it over here. See? Perfect. One more little guy here. And fill that in. And then we're going to carry on to the other one. Now I'm going to change my green color. So this one's like a murky, let me see what this one's like. It's like a grayish green, which isn't too bad, but it's a little bit dreary. So I'll see if I can cheer that up a little bit. When you mix your greens, when you play with all the colors, you come up with these gorgeous shades that you wouldn't think you could. Like if you mix some purple in with Hooker's green, it looks more gray, and it's kind of like I would say a eucalyptus, you know, that kind of color. So I'm going to come over here. And I have a line here, but I don't have to follow it. I think I don't like where that line is, actually. And I'm not loving this brush, so I'm going to change again and see if I have better luck with this brush. So I'm going in with this color, flat and up. Teeny bit too watery. That happens sometimes, depending on the brush you use. The last brush I used didn't hold as much water. So this one I'm mixing, it's called Terra Verte from Shinhan. This is how I've been told to pronounce that one, but I'm not sure if that's it. But in French, it means green earth. And if we kind of go under and over other leaves, it looks a little more realistic. It's kind of fun looking. Checking that camera again. the last video I had microphone problems, and I got everything else resolved, and then I had microphone problems, and I got a new editing software, and so I thought, you know, I'm learning that and I'm getting better, and then that happened to me. So I'm sorry, because when it happens to me, it happens to you guys, so I'm sorry. But thanks for your patience, and thanks for all your wonderful comments. I really am. It's very touching. It's really heartwarming. You know, when you say something kind to someone, you never know what kind of day they're having, or you just never know the good you're doing. So thank you again. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going in with a teeny bit of that light brown. And I'm going to put a teeny bit of that hunter's green, just a little, because I do want this sort of to be a beigey green, and a lot of water. And this one too. Whoop. This one's very faint, and that's okay because we can add color to it later. Sorry, I think it's this one I wanted. It's really okay because this is not finished. You're just going to work your way around this gourd. Pick a brush you're comfortable with. I still, you know, I have so many brushes because I like this brush for this reason and I like that brush for that reason. I wish I could find one that I just love for everything, but maybe it doesn't exist. Who knows? Okay, so I'm going to work my way up. So I'm going back into this green. I'll take some of this brown and green together. Go right to the edge. And don't worry about stems and all that stuff. We can put some in later. You could do this with little simple shapes or flowers, petals, anything really. Anything you can dream up, you can do it with. I just thought leaves would be nice because I'm going to add some berries in. Now this one I'm going to take one off the edge again, like it's coming around the other side of the gourd. And that one's going to be right in front of the stem. And when this is dry, we'll erase all those pencil lines. As you know, if you watch my other videos, I can't stand when my pencil lines are showing. So, and I'm going to add a couple coming around the bend there and one around here. And I think there's something a little bit missing here, so I will put one final one here. And it's okay if they bleed into each other. It's okay if they overlap, tuck under. It doesn't matter. It's really okay no matter what they do. So this is pretty dry over here. This is dry enough for me to go in. So I'm going in with a smaller detailed brush. And I'm just going to add a little bit of shape to these and add, you know, kind of fill in some blank areas. Now these beigey ones, they really faded out. So I'm going in with my brown again. And a dab of any green, doesn't matter. I just don't want it to be green. I want it to be like an old leaf, I guess. So I'm just going to add a bit of color on some of these leaves just to give it a little bit of oomph, just so you can see it. Gives them a little bit more shape. Now, you know, maybe I should have done the whole thing. Here's the brush I'm enjoying the most. Isn't that funny? This is like the cheapest brush I've ever bought. It's called a Zoo Ting. I think I ordered a set of them for my hubby, because he paints in acrylics, I ordered them for him, and then I confiscated a couple because I liked how pointy they were. So I don't think he knows. So when you're working with really watery paints, you're going to get really kind of like these fun blooms. And they really are nice to see. So I want to show you that underneath where the leaves are overlapping, try to pick one and decide which one is under and which one's over. And just outline it and make it look like slightly different color so that you can see this one's on top of this one now. Okay. You can even add lines, veins, you can do whatever. Whatever makes you happy, you do that. So I want to go in here, and I think this is for these ones. I might do that. See, just like that. It's very light. I have to wait till these dry now to put a vein in. But you see, if you do that, you can sort of tell where these are growing from. The front, the side, the back. It's kind of fun. Like, so if I put the little vein here, you know that it's coming from this direction. And if I put the vein here, then it looks like it's coming from around the gourd. Some of these shapes of the gourds are really fascinating. I wonder what they're called. I can't find any of the names for them. And I don't know if people actually eat them like we do pumpkins. And I'm curious. If anybody knows, leave it in the comments. I really am very curious. So for these, you have to go in with a teeny bit thicker paint in order to do this, you know, add the veins and stuff. So you don't want it too watery to do them, because then they'll just fade out. But I don't want it too dark either. I'm just trying to be careful here. Now that this is dry, I can come in here, do it here. Kind of fun. Okay, so now I see that you see some bare space. That is perfectly fine. Before we fill in any branches, we're going to put in with burnt sienna, we're going to put in a few berries. So on this one, I tried to do them in groups of 3. They do not have to be, you can tell they're berries. You know, they don't have to be perfect. Just put them in groups of 3 and try to leave a little white space so that it looks like that's where the light's coming from. And it's quite all right if you cover a leaf or a stem. And I'm going to put one hanging off the side here that it's coming around. So it looks like there's something there. And over here too. Yeah, maybe up here. When it's dry, we'll come in with a second layer. So you can add a little bit of shadowing, not much. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I think it looks nice and Thanksgiving dinner festive. Or dining room festive, like I said. You can make a series of these and make it into an interesting little painting you can frame. So there's a berry here, berry here, and a little bit of something missing over here. I'm just not sure where. Maybe it's not a berry it needs. Maybe I need another leaf. Yeah, I do. So let me do that. Now I shall pick a greeny brown. So I'm just going to add a few stems here in the center, just because. Like this one, I didn't do that. I did it on this side just to try it, I think. But you certainly don't have to. If you find it's too watery, dry your brush off, make it thirsty, and watch when you touch it. Doop, magically, you suck it back up again. And then you can go in with a deeper color if you like. You don't really have to wait because it's still wet. Okay, I don't like what I just did here, so I'm going to take my brush, wet it, and dab it back up. Because the layer underneath is dry, I should be able to get away with that. Because, there we go, I'm being gentle. There. I think I'm going to put a little tiny berry there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in and I'm going to add some stems here and there, and then you'll get a better idea of what you feel is missing. You don't have to add stems either if you want. You can add more berries, you can add little dots, anything you want to decorate this. You let your creativity flow. So I'm just going to start here and come down here. Very, very light touch. So it's okay if some of your leaves are in front of the stem and some are behind it, because that's the natural way they grow. So once again, don't look for perfection. There's a saying, you know, when you say something is perfectly imperfect, I think that applies to a lot of things in life. And this is one of them. So for some of these, I will put in a little bit extra color. Just staining the paper, very watery. I don't want to lose the little whites that I left, the white highlights. I just want to sort of add a bit of color. I find them a little bit dull. And I'll show you something else that I did to another set that I painted. So as I said, you can, whatever is being overlapped, try and add a bit of darker color so you can see one is beneath the other. So now this one's darker, so you can see that it's beneath that one. So what I wanted to show you before we end this video is I went to the Dollarama the other day and I was looking for pipettes. I don't know if that's the actual name of them. These things. And, you know, little eyedroppers, that's it. And I found this, and I have another set of, these are like iridescent paints. They are right here, shiny metallic watercolor paints. It says watercolor paints, shiny metallic. $2, Dollarama. And so I thought, oh, what can I lose? I'm going to try them. So I'm going to add a little bit of this orangey color. On the box it says that it is rose gold, but I would not call that rose gold. But anyway, we are going to try some, and I'm going to add it onto these little berries, just to give them a little bit of shimmer. I think that would look really pretty and festive on your table. Or in a painting, you know, whatever you use this for. And even if it just sits in your drawer, if you just do it because you want to practice and you just love to paint. You should see the paintings I have sitting in a drawer. I don't know what to do with them. Okay, so put some there. It adds a little something something to this. And so you can choose, there's right here, it is called white, and this one's champagne, but they're sort of translucent. I'll try and do it on a color that's dry, like this was just a swatch. So this one, you just wet them up like you do any other watercolor. And of course, the longer it's wet, the goopier it'll be better. So there we go. We're activating this. So that's the champagne. And this is the white. Hang on. So if I turn it, maybe you could see a little better the glitter. They look quite the same. And then I guess if you use these colors, you can use them on their own, maybe, you know, without painting on top of a color. Like you can, it's pale, but I can see that. Just make sure, whatever water you're using, use a separate jar of water, because these little glittery things float in your water and then they're going to contaminate your other paint. It's not forever, it's just for that painting. You'll have glitter throughout your painting that you may not have wanted. So I just wanted to show you that. $2, and these are, I have a set from Michael's. Artist Loft, I think, is their set. And these are just as good. They're no better and they're no worse, certainly. So I just wanted to show you those. So let me know if you try this, and let me know if you were happy with the outcome. So let me erase here and make sure your paint is dry. I'm really taking a chance here because I just finished painting. You didn't see that, did you? Okay. Okay, I better watch because I just went around these edges. So don't do what I'm doing, but I want to show you. Without the lines, it still keeps its shape. As long as you paint, like I see that I left a little bit of an opening here, so I'm just going to paint a tiny little leaf over here. It's just to fill it. It's just so that it's evenly, the shape is evenly filled, and then you can kind of tell once you erase your pencil lines that it's still the shape that it took. You know, you can see that it's rounded at the bottom and curved here, and this would be fun to do for Christmas themes too. I think we'll do one for them too. If you want your leaves to be a deeper color, I don't. I like this muted look. Just to add another layer or make your paint thicker. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know it's a quick one today, but it's perfect practice, and it's coming in a couple of weeks, neighbors. So you have a couple of weeks to do a few of these and get your dinner table all decorated. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for all your lovely comments. Happy watercoloring. Bye bye.